Good evening, everybody. This is the Live Life Well virtual cooking class. I'm Kate Watts. I'm here with guest chef Tiffanie King, and Tiffanie has a delicious recipe prepared for us tonight. She's going to take us through it step by step. So, Tiffanie, I will hand things over to you.
All right. Good evening, everyone. So this is an interactive class. So please feel free with any comments or questions that you might have. If you see a small little fella walk behind me, that's my son. So I'm a working mom as well. So I sent him to the neighbors, but he's probably there. So but it's so glad that you guys could join us tonight, and we're gonna get started. So tonight we're gonna be doing a roasted cauliflower pasta. So I already have my oven preheated to 425. Now you can adjust your, I'm gonna pull the camera down just a tad so you can see my hand. So you can adjust the camera, adjust the oven to your specific needs. But with this one, I'm gonna go with 425 because we want to get a nice caramelization, or we say browning, but caramelization on the cauliflower as it roasts. We only put that in the oven prior to starting our pasta. Okay, so I'm working with a nice size cauliflower here, and I'm gonna just unpack. I didn't want to cut it up first because a lot of times people may not know how to cut up cauliflower, and so we're gonna work together with this. You can rinse it if you would like. Here, so, and I have a chef's knife here as well, and I'm just gonna start by first cutting the outer part here off. Okay. And then I'm gonna pull back the leaves here. Let's pull these off. These are not good here. Pull these off. These will run about $2.99. And then here, continue to kind of pour off there. Now with my, you don't need a big knife like this to work with it. I'm going to use my chef's knife. Okay, so we're going to use a smaller knife here, and we're going to cut the flower out. Cut each floret off. Okay, just a little bit here. Now, if you want to cut these in half, you most certainly can. Okay, make smaller pieces here. Just keep working those over. So as you can see, it's going to make a whole lot of florets here. Okay, and this is a very fresh cauliflower. I'm going to cut them so that they're going to cook evenly. They all kind of cook all at the same time. Now, this recipe, not only can you do this with cauliflower, you can also do it with Brussels sprouts as well. Roasted Brussels sprouts are really, really good. I'm just going to break them away here. And so as you can see, you can just toss that. Nice and even. Now, a lot of people are doing the cauliflower rice. So if I, just as an example, if I wanted to do that, take the end piece here and just kind of just do a nice chop. Okay. Here. And then I can steam this, put in the microwave You know, I wouldn't put it in a food processor because it'll just disintegrate. So you can just kind of rough chop it and use this as a base. So if you're making uh, a pasta dish, if you're making a curry, and you don't want, and if you don't want rice and you want to go with cauliflower, you can do the same thing. So you can make a couple of dishes out of this same one. Just do a nice rough chop here, okay, as well. And then that's your cauliflower rice, okay? And this freezes well, okay, freezes well. A lot of people are getting the bird's eye frozen vegetables, and this also works for time constraints. If you don't have time to do all this, you can also get the bird's eye steamed fresh cauliflower. Okay. So I'm just going to clean up my area right quick. Any questions so far? Okay. All right, so I have my nice, beautiful bowl of cauliflower, and to that, I'm going to drizzle a little bit of olive oil. Okay, not too much, but enough to want to kind of cover it here. Then I'm just going to do a good toss. Okay. Okay, you want to make sure everything is covered. Add just a tad more. Okay. All right, I'm going to set that aside and get my garlic ready. Working with a garlic clove here. I'm just going to. You had a rough day. This gets you going. As an educator, have some of those days. Okay, so I'm just going to peel this back. I'm going to use this knife and kind of just peel it. Here, just peel my garlic clove. Now, if you don't want to deal with this, of course, you can get minced garlic as well that's already prepared, and that works as well. It keeps a long time in the refrigerator as well. Just going to use one clove here. I'm going to make some nice slices here. Just going to see it. Okay. Then, as you see, so I won't cut my hand, I pushed it down this way. Okay. Now, this is the fun part. I'm just going to begin to run my knife. I'm just rocking, a nice rocking motion here. Okay. And then this is called mince. I just wanted the smallest possible pieces. I want to add flavor, but nobody wants to chomp down on a big old piece of garlic. So you want to just go through it up nice and neat there. Okay. Again, run your knife through. Okay. And then I'm going to add that to the bowl here. Okay, and I'm also going to add a little salt. You can use ground pepper. You can use fresh cracked black pepper, whatever you want. And you can also use any seasonings you would like. Okay, I'm going to use, of course, what is in the recipe, but I'll show you some of the recipes that I keep at home that are universal that you can, that'll go with anything. Okay, and then also a little bit of salt, not too much. Okay. So mix that in. This is fun. Like, can this be a thing you can do with your child? Yes. You know, how to eat your veggies for your family. Okay. I have a nephew that lives with me. He's 17, and he doesn't care too much for vegetables. Um, and I'm gonna add a little bit of my fresh red pepper. as well, and then also the zest of a lemon. Now, one thing about zest of a lemon, don't bear down too hard like this. You know, not you know, you want just the outer edge. Okay. It's going to give that freshness. Of course, you can reserve the lemon juice if you want to. Reserve that lemon juice for water. You know, definitely find something to use them, since they're $2.79 for 3 of them. So I'm gonna find something to do with this. It's gonna go with it, you know. So definitely use all of your ingredients. Don't try not to waste. So get some more. Okay. That's gonna give that freshness to that. Okay. Okay. Continue to toss here. All right, so now you got a nice, great color on your cauliflower. See that I got my lime baking sheet here. Out here, nice and even. Everything cooks. Now, I was about to toss that in the sink, but look, see what happens? Some of the garlic settled down at the bottom. Just grab your hand, pull it on out. Okay. You spent that time chopping it. You want it to go in. Okay, because where cauliflower is very, of course, bland, and you want to add that flavor. That's what's going to give you great outcome. Okay. I'm going to see this one's a little bit big. I'm just going to. Don't run away from me. Okay. Great. Okay. Okay. See, nice and ready to go in the oven. Okay. So this is going into 425-degree oven. I'm putting on the bottom rack. Okay. Right. Pause for a minute for any questions.
Not seen any questions in the chat just yet, Tiffanie.
Okay. So now, got a nice little, just a dry pan. And prior to, I'm gonna get the pasta water going. Okay. And I got a half a cup of walnuts. Now you can, this is actually going to give you a nice crunch, but I'm going to show you how to toast the walnuts here just in a very hot pan. So I'm going to let this get nice and hot, and then we're going to toast the walnuts in just a dry pan. Okay. Also, I have my parsley here. While I'm doing that, these are some of the seasonings. I like this complete seasoning here. This works really well. It goes on anything, potatoes, chicken, vegetables. I like using that one, and another one, which is a go-to. Let me grab it out. Now, this is a garlic salt seasoning. I really like this. Just be careful because of the salt. Okay, so a little goes a long way. As you can see, I use a lot. I do a lot of private chef for a lot of people that work out. McCormick's used to have this that didn't have as much salt, but they discontinued it. Anything good they stopped making. So this is a from Lowry's. Lowry's tends to their seasonings can be a little salty, so just use this very sparingly. Okay, and this is another one that I really like. It's McCormick's Grill Mates. It's roasted garlic and herb. I could have added that to the cauliflower as well. So this goes really good, especially with chicken. You can add this. You have to also make a little marinade. So you just take a little bit of your seasonings here. You just put them in here. Okay, put a little olive oil. And of course, you can add as much as you want, and then you can mix it up here. And as you can see, you just made a great marinade, right? And you can brush your, let's say, especially with the grill, everybody's grilling, you can brush your vegetables. So if you put something like zucchini on the grill, grilled chicken on the grill, you can brush it with that. A lot of times grilled chicken will dry out. You can baste it with this little olive oil, and the seasoning is really, really, really good. Even when it comes out, you can hit it again. Okay.
That's great, Tiffany. And I will add too, if someone really is watching their sodium, Mrs. Dash is a common one, probably a lot of you have heard of, that makes all kinds of different seasoning blends, all different flavor combinations. So that's always a good resource for folks that are wanting the salt-free blends, but mixture of spices, not just the plain herbs by themselves. And Tiffany, we did have a question about you were showing the garlic salt. In this recipe, could someone use garlic powder instead of the fresh garlic if they didn't have any fresh garlic?
Yes, absolutely. Use whatever you have, and that's the great thing about cooking. You can use whatever you have that's on tap right now. And I'll be honest, I bought today, and I was so excited. This is something that foodie people like me do. But we have a few seconds. So I went in the Food Lion, and I had to grab something, and I see all of these seasonings, okay, for $1.28. So when you Food Line, North Tertiary. So if you go into stores and you see these, they last a long time. Especially if you do a lot of cooking, you like to experiment. Normally, ginger, cayenne, poultry seasoning. This brand can run about $8, $6 to $8 for this little bitty jar, right? So when you find them on clearance, definitely pick them up. So I got all of these. I got a few more deal weed, those type of things that when you're doing a lot of cooking, um, if you find them on clearance, definitely get those out. And then also try to find something like a Mrs. Dash. She has a seasoning blend, the McCormick, because this will replace a whole lot of other seasons because it's a little bit of everything in there. So use whatever you have at home. Don't think if you don't have it in the recipe, it's not going to matter. Nobody knows but you, right? So, definitely don't, because spices are very expensive. Okay. All right, let's get back at it. We got the walnuts here, also train of thought. And we're just going to lightly toast them. We're going to keep them moving in the pan. I don't want to burn them. The natural oils in the walnuts are just going to toast. I've just got a nice hot dry pan, and that's all. And I just want to toast them. Okay. I don't want to burn them. I just want to toast the walnuts. And while that's going, I got my water. I'm going to bring that to a boil. I'm working with this Healthy Harvest whole grain pasta. Okay. All right. And pasta is still something, even with the whole grain. It's very inexpensive. This is only $2. Uh, and this will feed a family of four, no problem. Okay. Or more. And this is something, of course, it'll last. You can cook it, cool it down. And then if it sticks a little bit, you can add a little bit of olive oil to it. That way you can, keep the pasta. You can make a cold pasta with it as well for work or events. Okay. The water. You can season the water. You don't have to. I'm just trying to avoid too much salt. So I'm just going to put that. So as you can see, we're getting there, just drawing now you'll smell that. That's, the toasted walnuts. Yeah, you can do pecans, whatever type of nut that you like. We're going to, of course, do walnut, and they tend to be a little less expensive than some of the other chopped nuts out there. Over Christmas, people requesting pecan pies. Oh boy, that was a joy. So yeah.
Tiffany, quick question. You said
Yeah.
it was the North Church Street Food Line that had those spices on
Yes,
sale?
North Church Street Food Line, my little plug.
And that's in Burlington, right?
Yes. And I would check all because if one food line is doing it, they're all doing it. So a lot of times I'll check. I spend a lot of time in the grocery store. Uh, Publix and Harris, see the can mark stuff down, they only take about 20% off. I'm looking for the 80%. So, definitely check out those. So any of the food lines, whether it's Wisset, Alamance, Church Road, a lot of times they'll discontinue these and they're still good. They're not, out of date or anything. And they might just discontinue this brand. So they will heavily discount the items so they can move them. Okay, so we're gonna switch. Ooh.
And we had a question about another substitution question about what other nuts you could use. So you mentioned pecans. What else would complement this recipe?
Pine nuts, cashews, anything that you like is whatever you want that you can that you want to put in a dish. Yeah, because really it's going to give you the walnuts are mild, and they are naturally. So here they're already ready. You can see the heat kind of coming off of them a little bit. That natural oil kind of glistening. Okay, and that's what we want. Beautiful color. Okay, so we're just going to set that to the side. Take it off the heat. Remember, it doesn't matter what kind you're using. Just make sure it's a dry pan. You can also put this in the oven as well. So I could have put this in the oven, but I wanted to show you how to do it on top of the stove. Now, and you want a good heavy pan. See, I dropped some of them. I do a lot of thrifting, so sometimes I can find really Cauliflower, different fiberware, different pans for like a couple of bucks. So sometimes you want a nice set of pots and pans to work with, and sometimes you can go. I do thrifting all the time as a hobby, so it's really fun to kind of go in and get a nice pan that you saw at Macy's for $50 and you get it for $2. It's just something that I do. Okay, so I'm separating the pasta here. I'm gonna add just a little bit more. Now, of course, you can use regular pasta if you don't want to use whole wheat, but we are going for that whole wheat, and it's less processed. That's the difference with the whole wheat. It's not processed like you have the enriched grain, where they take all the nutrients out of the pasta and it's processed. This is definitely not as processed as the regular enriched pasta. Okay, so we're just going to keep letting it go for a little while. Going to check on our cauliflower. Oh, it's sizzling in that nice, just beautiful color. It is really caramelizing really well. You want a nice crunch, but you don't want it to be like rubbery. I think some things, especially with vegetables, people cook vegetables to death. You don't have to do that. You can put a little, put a crunch on them, saute them. You think about that school cafeteria broccoli. Yeah, that's what you don't want. You want a nice crunch. It's a little teacher humor, So you want a nice crunch with your vegetables. You want it to retain as much color and then flavor, but you don't want to overcook it, because the more you cook it, the softer it breaks down the texture of it, and then it ends up being mush rather than your broccoli or adding it to a dish. So you want a nice crunch. Yeah. Okay, so that pasta is going good. Any questions? Okay. All right, great. And you can use this as a great side dish, especially with the Easter, the holidays, coming up, and they're very light. So if you want to avoid a lot of heavy things, especially with the weather changing, you want broccoli, asparagus, spinach, all of those things are great. And then you can pair that. So if I wanted to just roast that broccoli with my own seasonings and a little olive oil, that's it. Right? You can still have that roasted broccoli and use whatever you have in your cabinet. Then, of course, you can put some salmon on the side of that, roast it all together for about 20, 25 minutes, and you got a complete meal. Okay? Salmon, I love the fresh, never frozen salmon that you get at Aldi. I know I don't like it. They don't have much personality in there, but I do love their salmon. It is very reasonably priced. I mean, you can get a nice half pound of salmon. And you can make 2 servings out of it for about $7 to $8. Yeah. And they're large pieces. You can get about 5 or 6 nice cuts out of that, and they run about $20. Yeah. The next one would probably be Harris Teeter. Sometimes theirs is frozen and then thawed out, so it can be a little, mushy a little bit. But I do like Aldi's for their salmon. So you get everything here. You get some food, you get some tips. Okay, so we're just working on that pasta here. Are we on time? Doing great.
Tiffanie, I like that you did the lemon zest on the cauliflower. I wouldn't have thought to do that, but I have heard that people who like to roast asparagus, I've seen a lot of recipes with the garlic and lemon zest, and I feel like to me a lighter, brighter, like springy pasta is often got lemon in it. So yeah, I like that. I can't wait to try this recipe.
Yeah, and you can really wow your family, right? Bring something. We live in the South, Lord. If you had a pasta salad and potato salad, you've had enough of it, right? So this is a way to bring something new, especially if you haven't. I mean, this grows well with a great wine. It's something else that teachers engage in, but the but a nice red wine, white wine, whatever you choose. It pairs well with that. You can do it with chicken, a vegetable. You can add asparagus to this, right? So you can add a little color. Take the cauliflower, roast that along with the asparagus and some cherry tomatoes, right? And so you really got a good pop there as well with the with your cauliflower. So it's a really great, inexpensive way to make a lot. And you can make a lot of it in a short amount of time, and you can use it for multiple things. So great side dishes. Yeah. So that's
And
great.
for those of you out there that are trying to like vegetables more and try new vegetables, roasting is 100% the way to go. There are so many vegetables that I did not like until I tried them roasted. So if there's a vegetable you're skeptical about, or that you want to try again, or that you've come across a recipe, or if you're just trying to eat more vegetables, like Tiffanie was saying, roasting up a big sheet pan of a whole variety of vegetables, like on a day you're not working, and then you can use them in different dishes throughout the week. That's a great way to get an extra serving of vegetables in, and they're already cooked and ready for you. And I just think the roasting brings out such a different flavor than steaming them or boiling them.
Okay, so we're just about ready with our pasta. We want to cook that a little al dente, or what is like slightly to the. You don't want it to overcook the pasta. Don't throw it up against your wall. I know do you know how many students have done that over the years? I'm like, I don't know, but so you want to just take a little bit here, as you can see here, and then just try a little piece, right? Mm. Nice and tender. You do not want to overcook it, and then we're just going to drain this pasta.
And Tiffanie, I think it is um, the cooking times between whole grain and regular pasta, are they much different? Because things like brown rice, the whole grain version of rice, takes a lot longer than the processed white rice.
Well, this says it takes about 7 minutes, and I'll tell you, from the time we've been on the phone, I mean, online, I'm sorry, it's done. So I think it takes about the same amount of time with pasta. Now you're right, with rice, it takes a lot longer with brown rice than it does with regular traditional enriched whole white rice. So it takes a little bit longer with brown rice, but as you can see, nice and tender pasta in no time. So that was really, really super cool here. Okay, so we have our pasta. I reserved a little bit of the pasta water just as like a little sauce. Now, if you want to drizzle, put that down here. Here, if you want to drizzle a little bit of olive oil, can. If you want to season it, you most certainly can do that as well. Here, all right. Now, cauliflower. Ooh, boy. Ooh, whoa, a little hot there, but it is ready. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful color. Okay. Look at that. Okay. So now I'm going to toss it a little bit. Now I'm going to show you a little trick. It has a nice caramel color on it, right? Okay, as you can see. Now, the longer you let it go, the more caramelization is going to get. Now, if I wanted to put my oven on broil, I'm going to do that just for a second to kind of show you a little bit more. So I'm going to get my tongs here. Now, as you can see, it's got that great roasted color already on it. But if we want to add a little bit more roasted, if you want to take it a little bit longer, most certainly what I'm going to do is just flip them over just a little bit here. You can see here, beautiful, but I don't want to burn them, right? Okay. Okay, so if you want to add a little bit, and that's just the natural sugars, everything in there, just and it's sizzling as we go. Okay, move this pasta out the way so you can see. Pan is nice and hot, so I'm just keeping it. Here. So some got a little, yeah. See that? Beautiful. In fact, you know what? I'm not going to put it on broil. I think it's nice and roasted. I don't want to over, as you can see, some. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I don't want to caramelize them too much because I want to a nice crunch, and I don't want to overcook them, right? So you got a nice soft cauliflower here. Didn't take long in the oven at all. Okay, so now we're ready to kind of bring everything together. So I have my pasta here. Well, before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead on and zest my other lemon here. Again, adding that great freshness. I'm gonna use a little bit of the pasta to kind of help it on out of there. You know, they don't even make lemon like these. They're so little nowadays. Really make sure you get all of it off. There. Okay, great. And you can smell that lemon, the beautiful oils off of that, and just making that pasta nice and fresh. Okay. Okay, I have some parsley here. Parsley. I'm just using my hands. You can chop it up if you would like, but just use it. I'm taking the here. So as you can see, continue to stir that lemon in. Okay. If you try it and you think you need a little bit of seasoning, add it. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, beautiful color there. Okay. Now I'm gonna add the flour. Look at this. This is a perfect side dish, right? Perfect side dish. Just the cauliflower alone, it's beautiful. Okay. Got a little bit of my walnuts. I mean, really, take that to a church potluck and see what happens. Oh my God. Okay, you want to just mix it nice and gently. Don't over, just make sure everything is incorporated. with that and just pulling it nice and folding it in. Folding in my pasta. I'm gonna add a little bit more broccoli here. Okay. All right. And that hot. Now we're gonna plate this up. Cut it out the way. Nice, beautiful plate. This is where you wow your neighbors. I'm gonna use some of my preserved cauliflower. Yeah, you can add Parmesan cheese to it if you would like. You could add, of course, salmon, chicken, steak. I mean, Pragos, eat your heart out, right? Okay. Beautiful cauliflower, roasted cauliflower pasta. Perfect. What do you guys think?
Thank you so much, Tiffany. That looks delicious. That caramelization on the cauliflower, all that flavor looks really good.
Yeah, and definitely you can add, like I said, chicken, steak, any any type of protein that you would like to this, or of course, it's a great vegetable dish on its own.
Yeah, a nice hearty, I mean, it's probably light in flavor, but it's gonna fill you up with that whole wheat pasta and those big cauliflower florets. So yeah, definitely a good hearty vegetarian option for a quick, easy meal on a weeknight.
Absolutely, absolutely. You probably, I don't know, if you go to Pragos or somewhere, you're gonna pay about what, maybe $15 for this, and look how much you made for maybe $20. Yeah.
You got it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Everybody says it looks good, looks great,
Oh,
that it
yeah.
smells
You know how they do on Food Network? They eat it in front of people. I won't do that.
good. Well, thank you so much, Tiffany, for joining us this evening. Look forward to trying this recipe and also adding in whatever veggies I need to use up in my fridge because I think you could throw
Yeah.
just about anything on there and it would go well. So
Yeah.
we
I mean,
do
that's the
appreciate
beauty
it.
of, like Kate was saying, that's the beauty of the doing roasted vegetables. You can add whatever, especially with the price of food costs being so high right now. It can be kind of scary to eat fresh vegetables and fruits and vegetables because of the price, and you don't want them to go bad. I would say shop around Aldi, Lidl, Food Lion. Harris Teeter has a great selection, but of course they can be a little bit more expensive with also with Publix. But to each their own. But you can take those vegetables. You can also use green peppers, red peppers, onion, red onion, all of those type of things, and toss them, and they make a great side dish, right? So you don't, and it's something where you can set it and forget it. You can put it on the grill. You can make little full packs. So you just take a piece of aluminum foil. I would spray it, and then you can make a little pouch with that. Put it on the grill. Boom. So everybody has their own individual little pack, right? Of vegetable. Okay. So those are another things that you can add as well. And they hold up you can caramelize these on the grill as well.
That's great, Tiffany. Well, we thank you again, and we look forward to having you on another virtual cooking class in the future. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you.